I had testicular cancer when I was 24. So when I heard that there was a vaccine protecting against HPV, the leading cause of cervical cancer in young women, I was very excited because I would have loved the chance to have a vaccine that would have stopped me getting cancer in the future. In fact, I would have given my left it doesn't matter. There's only one problem with the HPV vaccine. The take-up rate is dropping. Why? Because of a vaccine scare. But is this any different from the vaccine scares of the past? The most famous scare was, of course,
the vaccine for measles, mumps and rubella, which is given to most children over the age of 1, has been linked with autism.
But there's just one problem.
That study has since been completely discredited.
Published in the Journal of American Medical Association, the newly released study says there is no link between the measles, mumps and rubella vaccine and autism.
To link measles vaccine with autism is to really say the world is flat.
Yes, it wasn't factual, it was groundless. It was based on a completely debunked report. Some other things we believe based on debunked reports include the invasion of Iraq, Barack Obama being born in Kenya, and Irish men are the sexiest on the planet. But even though the report was debunked, the take-up of the MMR vaccine continued to fall. Why? Ironically, because of virals. Because on one side, medicine, science, and facts. On the other side, a well-funded anti-vaccine movement, fake news, and the unscientific opinions of former Playboy model Jenny McCarthy.
Without a doubt in my mind, I believe vaccinations triggered Evan's autism.
Yes. Who needs the truth, doctors or facts, when you've got a celebrity? Thanks to this, the MMR vaccine rate in the Western world is falling faster than, well, this guy. Now Ireland has a lower MMR vaccination rate than Rwanda. Why do I mention Rwanda? Because getting a vaccine is a privilege. And people in Rwanda remember what happened without vaccine. In the West, we've moved away from the horror of some diseases. Isn't it funny? As you get further away from something, the less correlation it seems to have. And speaking of Trump...
If you take this little beautiful baby and you pump, I mean, it looks just like it's meant for a horse, not for a child. And we've had so many instances, people that worked for me just the other day, 2 years old, 2.5 years old, a child, a beautiful child, went to have the vaccine and came back and a week later got a tremendous fever, got very, very sick, now is autistic.
Like a horse. Like a horse. Like a horse. Yes, the old I have a friend who told me they heard something routine. It turns out famous anti-vax doctor Andrew Wakefield, the guy who did the completely debunked report in the first place, is a supporter of Donald Trump. I'm not really sure what continues to motivate the anti-vax movement in the United States. It seems to be a collection of the religious right, alternative medicine enthusiasts, homeopaths, naturopaths, and people who like to take a more holistic approach, or as I prefer to call it, a talking through your holistic approach. Every vaccine throughout history has been questioned, and now it's the HPV vaccine's turn. What's making people question the vaccine? Facebook videos.
R.E.G.R.E.T is an organization of parents, just like you, who trusted what we were told. We believed we knew the full facts. We only ever wanted what was best for our girls. But we found out the hard way. And by then it was too late.
Now, there's no scientific basis to these claims, but who needs science when you have serious music? 1.2 million hits and counting.
The HPV vaccine, Gardasil, only protects against 4 out of 100 strains of HPV infections.
The HSC fought back with their own video.
There's absolutely no scientific evidence to back up these claims.
77 hits, and 30 of them were our researcher. That music is way too cheery. That's not how emotional manipulation works. You think anyone would take primetime seriously if they had jaunty music?
This footage captured by Gardasil catches people staging a crash red-handed.
We know that Primetime has covered this and covered it well. But this is important, and as many people as possible need to see it. So we put it here on RTE2, so literally tens of more can see it. Why?
The vaccine is at least 90% effective in preventing the most common HPV virus strains, genital warts, and precancerous lesions of the cervix.
So it's dropped because of a campaign run by the aptly named R.E.G.R.E.T, which stands for Reactions and Effects of Gardasil Resulting in Extreme Trauma. So, what are they worried about?
Raynaud's disease,
muscle fatigue,
fibromyalgia,
memory and concentration problems,
crashed vitamin D levels,
neurological issues.
Now, we are not saying those poor girls aren't sick. We want them to get the help that they need. In fact, the HSE offered them a care pathway to try and help, but their parents refused it because the HSE would not immediately admit that the vaccine was the cause of their many different illnesses. Personally, I take the care pathway first and worry about what they called it later. And why should the HSE say it was the vaccine when the claims have been discredited the world over?
We couldn't find any evidence to validate the parents' concerns.
Absolutely no evidence that the vaccine is causing these effects. All the national and international bodies all say this vaccine is safe and the benefits far outweigh any short-term risk.
This has been discredited thoroughly, but still these stories continue. Why? Because on one side, medicine, science, facts, and the HSE with 77 hits, 79, people must be watching, this is amazing. On the other side, the unscientific opinions of former Page 3 girl, Melinda Messenger. Why do we keep getting our medical advice from glamour models? She wrote an article last week in the Daily Mail that inspired by regret, she's not giving her daughter the vaccine. She also cites the very scientific-sounding American College of Pediatricians, who deliberately pick a name to get confused with the actually scientific American Academy of Pediatrics, who have 60,000 members. But the American College of Pediatricians have only 200 members and are a Christian pressure group who promote celibacy until marriage, that gays are bad, and recommend hitting your child. To be fair to the Daily Mail, the article was accompanied by a doctor explaining what Melinda was saying was rubbish, but you had to scroll past the whole article of 5 photos of Melinda and her family and 47 photos of scantily clad celebrities, including busty Nicole Scherzinger flashing her endless legs. What chance does science have next to that? But these scares make a difference in the real world, and it's not just with HPV. Remember our old friend the MMR scare? Now, doctors who only learned about measles in books like ancient history are seeing it in real life for the first time, because kids who didn't get the vaccine are catching it. Where's the viral clip of the kid with measles shouting at the anti-vaxxers, "Don't you have any guilt?" And I personally don't want to wait for the viral in 25 years of women who have cervical cancer because they weren't vaccinated. What are they going to call that group? Regrexit? Regret say that they're not anti-vaxxers, but their website repeatedly cites SaneVax, a large anti-vaxxer group that continue to push the discredited MMR anti-vaccine material as recently as 2013. Vaccines shouldn't be controversial. They work time and time again. Smallpox killed 500 million people in the 20th century until the vaccine wiped it out. The World Health Organization estimates 700,000 people a year are saved thanks to the whooping cough vaccine. In 1988, polio was infecting 350,000 people. Last year, 74 cases. Thank fuck Facebook wasn't around when the polio vaccine came out, because I'd be talking to a lot more people in wheelchairs. And yes, that's a polio joke, ladies and gentlemen. The only reason I can make that joke is because a vaccine wiped it out. Because we can make a joke because it's a happy ending. Because vaccines are the happy ending, because this shit works.
HPV vaccine not only prevents precancers, but can prevent full-blown cervical cancer as well.
Their program has been running since 2007. And what they have shown is that there has been an up to 75% reduction in these precancers, which you must have to develop cancer, and also a 50% decrease in cancer. So we know the vaccine works.
And if there's one viral you want to share on Facebook, share this one.
If you don't realize how dangerous this virus is, then we will take you out to the cemetery and show you our daughter's tombstone.
We're a show about what matters in Ireland. Please welcome a man who has spent a career talking about those issues in his movies, Jim Sheridan.